freedom, independence, and the ability to come and go. In today's mobile, active world, the ability to get from one place to another has never been so vitally important. And public transportation is a dynamic part of our mobility. Whether going to work, out with friends, taking trips to the doctor, or heading off to thousands of other destinations. The Americans with Disabilities Act entitles all people with disabilities to accessible public transit, and the LA County Public Transit System offers a variety of accessible travel options. What exactly is the public transit system? Well, the public transit system is comprised of a variety of transportation systems, including community dial-a-rides, community circulators, the rail system, which includes the Red Line, Green Line, Blue Line, and Metrolink, and of course, the good old reliable bus.
Have a good day and watch your step.
The regional fixed route public transit bus is the most utilized form of public transportation, with routes covering all of Los Angeles County and a ridership that numbers in the millions. Many communities have unique-looking public transit buses that may not look like the ones in your community. Despite the differences in their appearance, all public transit buses have one thing in common. Each is equipped with a variety of adaptive devices to assist those who need them. Every public transit bus has a lift, a ramp, or a kneeling feature that is available for use, whether the rider uses a wheelchair, a cane, crutches, a walker, or is simply unable to climb steps. Other accessibility features include wheelchair securement spaces, designated priority seating, handrails, accessible signage, major stop announcements, accessible stop request devices, and drivers who have received special sensitivity training. Significant discounts are available to persons with disabilities on regular transit services. Buses, rail, and light rail are our primary public transit providers. However, Access Paratransit is available as an alternative to those individuals who, because of specific functional limitations, are unable to utilize bus, rail, or light rail. Access Paratransit acts as a sort of gap filler that ensures that everyone can be included in LA's mobile society. To better illustrate how the public transit system works, let's look at two typical public transit users as they embark on two similar trips. Linda will be riding the bus. Jan will be taking Access Paratransit. Linda is on her way to the doctor for an appointment she made with him yesterday. Linda uses the bus on a day-to-day basis, relying on it as her primary source of transportation. Since Linda has difficulty climbing stairs, the driver deploys the bus's boarding ramp, which allows her to step right in. This makes boarding the bus much easier for her, and of course, much safer. In the 3 years since Linda stopped driving, she has come to rely on the bus quite heavily. She uses it to get to the store, to go to the mall for shopping, and to get back and forth to visit her friends. Linda arrives at her doctor's 10 to 15 minutes ahead of her appointed time, in plenty of time to make her appointment. Later on, after she finished at the doctor's, Linda comes out to wait for the bus and runs into her old friend Kathy. It's been quite a while since they've seen each other, so she and Kathy decide to go to lunch together to catch up.
You want to have lunch?
Yes, let's do that.
That's great. I'm starving.
Before meeting her friend Kathy, she was planning to take the 427 bus back to her neighborhood. But now that she has plans for lunch, she checks her bus schedule and finds the bus that stops near her favorite restaurant.
That's great.
When the bus arrives, it is equipped with a ramp that Linda is able to walk up. Her friend Kathy requests that the driver lower the lift because she feels more comfortable boarding that way. The dependability of the fixed route system, with its buses that travel the same routes at the same times every day, gave Linda the ability to get to her doctor's appointment on time without having to schedule the trip in advance. She also benefited from the flexibility of the system, which allowed her to change her plans and make an unscheduled stop for lunch with a friend before going home. Now let's look at another typical public transit user, Jan, as she takes a similar trip. Instead, she'll be using Access Paratransit. Jan was certified to use the Access Paratransit system because she was determined to be functionally unable to use the regular bus system. Jan has just learned from her doctor that he needs to see her at 11 o'clock the next morning. She calls Access Paratransit right away to ensure that a vehicle will be available at the time she needs it.
Hi, I'd like to schedule a pickup, please.
Jan wishes to schedule her pickup for 9:30 a.m. to allow ample time to arrive before her appointment.
And I'd like to schedule for that for 9:30.
She learns that 9:30 isn't available, so she negotiates a pickup for 10 o'clock.
How's 10 o'clock? Great.
Pickup times with Access Paratransit can be negotiated up to 1 hour on each side of the requested time. She also schedules her return trip pickup an hour after she expects to be finished at the doctor in case she is delayed.
Great, and then I'd also like to schedule a return pickup, please, for, let's say, 1:30. Great.
Jan knows scheduling her pickups this way may involve some waiting, but she finds it preferable to the risk of running late. The next morning, as Jan waited for her Access Paratransit vehicle, she was prepared to wait a few extra minutes. Most dial-a-ride or specialized systems allow for a pickup window, a specified time frame within which a vehicle is considered to be on time. When the vehicle arrives, Jan sees that she will be sharing her ride with another Access Paratransit user. The driver informs her that the shared ride passenger will be dropped off first, since her destination is closer than Jan's.
Hi, how are you?
Just like public buses and trains, Access Paratransit is a shared ride system. Talking with the other passenger, Jan learns that she is on her way to the mall to do some shopping. Jan feels that her trip to the doctor is more important than her shopping trip and that she should be taken to her destination first. But she doesn't say anything because she understands that's how public transportation works. On Access Paratransit, all trip requests and passengers deserve equal priority. Trip purpose cannot be used to prioritize rides. Though Jan planned to arrive 10 to 15 minutes earlier, she arrived right at her appointment time. Being an experienced rider, Jan knows to plan for occasional scheduled negotiations, pickup windows, and longer ride times due to shared rides. Later, after Jan's finished with her appointment, she comes out of the doctor's office to wait for her return trip. And by coincidence, Jan also runs into her friend Kathy, who wants to go with her to lunch.
Would you like to do lunch today?
Oh, you know what? I have
As a paratransit user, Jan does not have the same flexibility as Linda, who simply decided to board a different bus. In order to make a change in her schedule, Jan must first call far enough in advance to cancel her return trip. Not doing so would result in a wasted trip and possibly go on her record as a no-show. Jan decides to postpone her lunch date with Kathy because it is too close to her pickup to cancel her ride. Her return trip vehicle arrived right on time, and Jan gets to ride straight home. We have just seen two examples of diverse travel options available in Los Angeles County. The bus can be efficient, convenient, and flexible for its hundreds of thousands of riders with and without special needs. As a gap filler for bus, rail, dial-a-ride, community circulators, and other accessible systems, Access Paratransit provides curb-to-curb service for those who are functionally unable to use these and other transit options for some of their trips. Access Paratransit is not cab service, emergency medical, or social service transportation. While it meets the needs of the intended population, it can pose limitations for those users who may be able to use the bus, rail, or light rail systems that are more readily available, appropriate, and usually less expensive transportation for some of their trips. We hope this information will help you choose the appropriate transit option wherever your desired destination may be. Thank you for considering all of LA County's accessible public transportation network for your travel needs. For information about your public transportation options and resources in LA County, try these helpful information lines. For all rideshare and public transit services in Los Angeles County, call 1-800-COMMUTE. That's 1-800-266-6883. Ride Info provides referral services for specialized transportation services in Los Angeles County. You can reach their agents by calling 1-800-431-7882. Need information on Los Angeles County's regional ADA paratransit services? Call Access Paratransit Customer Service at 1-800-827-0829. On the internet, visit www.mta.net and www.scag.ca.gov/transit. These two websites provide user-friendly public transit schedules and trip planning services.